All right, now inside of the advanced business bundle, here we are inside of creating value, and we're going to talk about creating demand. Now that we're running your business and your business is running, a very important part of what you're trying to do is you want to attract people to your brand. You want to bring people in, you want to supply and demand, right? You have the supply, but now we have to use marketing. We have to use our ability to bring people in to create demand. We have Mel Cordier here, master instructor on marketing, PR. And Mel, can you just please speak to creating demand for your business, for your offering?
Yeah. So creating demand starts from quality of product. It starts from quality of life. So once you get into the point where you start to navigate and really create a sense of business identity for yourself, now it's time to create the product or revamp the product to match that space where you want it to to be most relevant. So when we speak of quality, we want to speak of packaging. We want to speak of the best ingredients. We want to speak on the best formula. All those types of things are very relevant. Most importantly, in addition to that, is the overall methods in which the product is presented to the public. Obviously, if you have said product, you don't want to be hawking it on a street corner. If you believe that the product is of supreme quality, then you actually want to possibly get it inside of a brick and mortar before you even build your own. You want to partner with someone else and say, hey, do you mind buddying my product next to yours? And we could possibly make these types of things, this type of business relationship work. Also, in addition to creating a demand, don't be afraid to give out freebies. You have to allocate your initial budget for freebies. We all know, Mark, you and I, we grew up where Sundays after church, going to the grocery store was everything because most likely on every end cap was the free sample lady. And they were always doing free samples because they were testing this product and see how well it's going to be received in this particular area, whether it would be meatballs or cocktail wings or crackers and cheese or
Try before
you
you
know
buy.
try before you buy. Absolutely. And that actually created a demand. So it's like, okay, well, if I gave out X amount of samples and this particular company told us we can open, an entire pallet just to give out as free samples and that pallet is gone, well, then obviously we know we can move forward and put that product on the shelves and it's going to be sold. They created a demand. Also, the important part about that is uh, you want to you want to allocate for a bit of advertising, early advertising. Nowadays, early advertising, it comes by way of influencer marketing. So if you know someone who has a bit of a following, you definitely want to look into spare a few dollars to say, hey, do you mind promoting this particular product? It doesn't even have to be a direct promotion. If you have a t-shirt company, hey, do you mind wearing this t-shirt next time you go live? It's subconscious programming,
Mm.
and what it is you're creating a demand. If I know I put my t-shirt on that particular person and every time they go live they have anywhere from 10 to 12,000 people tuning into their lives, well then that's 10 to 12,000 people who actually saw it. And then from there it trickles on down through the law of averages and you create a demand. It goes from 10 to 12,000 that actually saw it, but then 5 to 6,000 are genuinely interested. Out of those 5 to 6,000, now you have 3 to 4,000 who may actually purchase. And then of that 3 to 4,000 that purchase, you're going to have 1,700 referrals.
Mm.
Who doesn't like 1,700 new customers?
That are helping you create even more demand because they can speak to the quality of what they're experiencing itself. Can you speak to meeting a need or solving a problem as a way of making sure you're creating demand for your product? I think a lot of times people make a product and then they're like, this is why it's so good. This is why it's so great. This is why you should buy it. But for example, like super soakers, no one needs a super soaker. Why is there a demand for it though? Because it meets a need of wanting to have some fun, right? Solves a problem of being hot in the summertime without having to get in the pool, right? So a need was created, demand was created by showing the benefit of the product by meeting a need or solving a problem. Is that another way you would recommend of creating demand?
Let me tell you something. Most of the consumed products came by way of filling a void that wasn't even there. And I like the example that you gave with the super soak. It wasn't just fulfilling the need of being hot, but what it was the opportunity for someone to actually have a high pressure water gun without having to go back to the hose pipe 10 and 12 times when I could do it
Yeah, yeah.
2 times, and you're way more soaked than I am with just a little water pistol that you have. You're not touching this over here. You fill up the tank one time, and I can spray for several more minutes than you can, and it can go further. Which, of course, as kids, that was our goal. Our goal was to try to shoot the kid across the street and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, he fulfilled the need.
Mm.
More than once over. The assembly line system that we know fast food restaurants to have that came from fulfilling a need. People at the time were on the go. Drive-in movies was a big thing, so people wanted to get their food at an expedited time frame. So they came up with this assembly line that was mimicked after the car plants, the auto manufacturers. They took that system, whereas I'm gonna do bun, you're gonna do patty, you're gonna do toppings, you're gonna do top bun, you're gonna wrap it up and you're gonna bag. So when they created that, that was actually fulfilling a need. The same way with, I mean, shucks, the basketball sneakers. Obviously these guys couldn't run up and down the court all day long with big clunky leather boots on. So somebody had to revolutionize and come up with a more aerodynamic and a more lighter option that allow these players to run and jump and without having the grueling injuries to the feet and to the ankles and to the toe. And now as we see it fast forward, I mean sneakers is pretty much the second most consumed product on the globe next to music.
Amazing. So yeah, man, creating that demand is a very important step in running your business because that's where your sales are going to come from. You got your customers, leads, prospects, but the demand for what you have, it's what allows people to seek you, want you, and come to your product. And it doesn't take as much persuasion and marketing in a way that's like telling them why they should come. They understand and they crave and they want and they demand, just like supply and demand in economics. You got to have the demand, you have the supply. So thank you, sir, for dropping that wisdom.
Yeah, absolutely.